Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Interviews with Entrepreneurs in South Africa. Today, I'm very excited to be introducing Elsabe Hurn. We've been friends for a long time on Facebook and on the social networks. I've followed her career for quite some time now. So I'm very excited to introduce you to her. Elsabe, please will you tell us a little bit more about yourself and about your business?
Thank you, Melanie. I'm Elsabe, and I am the owner of bernina Edenvale and also Surefit Design South Africa. We basically do a lot of training on machines, dressmaking, clothing and that. Not a lot of quilting because I myself am a designer and a dressmaker. And that's how the Surefit Design South Africa also became available in South Africa, because I decided that we needed a pattern fitting system in South Africa that's going to make it easier for the everyday dressmaker to be able to fit herself and to design her own patterns. So that is how I combined the two. Actually, it's my two passions, my sewing machine side and my teaching side, and then my pattern design and fitting side as well.
And how long have you had the store in Edenvale?
The 1st of June was 10 years already. Now that you asked this question, it's actually very, I can't believe it's 10 years. And Surefit Designs was 2016. I actually contacted the owner of Surefit Designs in the USA on, I think it was 2016 that I contacted her. And we started chatting about it. I told her why I was looking at the system, because a lot of my customers, that's dressmakers, are battling with commercial patterns. So I contacted her and I said, you know what, this is my situation and I'm helping all these people, but I feel we should do it in a better way for them, move them away from commercial patterns and give them more freedom with designing for themselves. We've all got different bodies. So in the end, she agreed. In the beginning, it was, oh, we don't need an agent, but then she agreed to it after a couple of Skype meetings and getting to know me. And I went to the USA for training that June in 2016. And since then, we've had Surefit Designs in South Africa, which is an amazing system for the dressmaker to design our own patterns.
So why do commercial patterns not work for most people?
You know what? They work on a standard measurement. So, and they work on 3 measurements, which is your bust, your waist, and your hip measurement. And let's take a comparison. Let's say you are someone with 100 centimeter bust measurement, and you might be a B cup size with a broad back. I'm also 100 centimeters. I'm a D cup size with a narrow back. There's just no way that standard measurement is going to work for you or for me to get a good fit in our pattern, because at the end of the day, if we're sewing for ourselves, we want a good fit. So you have to design for yourself. Otherwise, there's so many alterations, and the people are battling with the alterations of their commercial patterns. And you just can't work on 3 measurements either, because most of those patterns, if there's a bust start in there, it's for a B cup size. And like I said, I might be a D cup size. So now I've got to do all these alterations and do a full bust adjustment to make that pattern fit my body. And it shouldn't be that way. So with Surefit Designs, I take my measurements and I start drafting that pattern. It's a master pattern that I use with grading dots. So wherever my size is on that grading dot, I would go and mark that. And at the end, I'm actually doing a body blueprint for my body. That pattern is following my body measurements, and I can then start designing for myself. Some people might need to tweak a little bit because they might have sloped shoulders or a round back. But that's minor adjustments that we then have to make, because they've already designed this pattern according to their measurement. So it's so much easier for the dressmaker out there, instead of going through every time when she's got a new pattern, going through this whole fitting and altering process. Now you've got your bodice, which is drafted to your measurement. I just put it out, I copy that, and then whatever design I want to, let's say I saw something on Pinterest, I can just go copy it and design it, and it will fit my body at the end of the day.
So Surefit Designs allow you to make patterns specifically for your specific body shape?
Yes, yes. We've all got, as I said, we've all got different shapes. And
yes.
So with that now, as I said, and that's if you actually look at fashion design in the industry as well, any designer out there will take their customer's measurement and they will draft a basic sloper, which is your basic pattern. And then they will have to test it, and then that becomes the master pattern you design from. Surefit Design, she's taken all that hard work out. So you don't have to be someone with a degree. You don't have to go and get extra training because we also have all our training on DVD. So there's a how-to DVD that takes you step by step how to measure yourself and also how to draft your pattern in for all our master patterns that we have. So it is really a system where she's done all the calculations, all the maths behind drafting that basic block. And she's put it into a master pattern with the grading dot. So you literally just take your measurement and wherever that grading dot is, you can just go make that little mark, connect the lines or the dots, and there you've got your pattern that will suit your body. So it's such a simple way. I can draft a pattern within a half an hour or an hour, where if you do, like the fashion designers would take days sometimes to get a basic slope and drawn because there's just so many maths behind it. So for our everyday dressmaker, that's all done for you. You just follow the system. And I've even had fashion designers that bought the system from me. That's actually said it saved them so much time when they're actually designing the basic block for their customers.
Yes, I know that pattern makers are quite expensive to use. Also, if you're in the fashion industry, getting the services of a pattern maker, it's a pricey exercise that a lot of entry-level designers can't afford. So
Yes.
I can see where that would be useful for them.
Also, if you look at today, the pattern prices, I'm talking about commercial patterns now. If I look at Burda, for instance, the sewers out there will know Burda's is about 120 Rand a pattern, and that's for one pattern. So with this master pattern, let's say my dress kit, for instance, my dress kit is for designing my skirts, my jackets, my dresses, and my bodice tops, and it's got my templates, bust adjust templates. So I'm already drafting a bust dart for my cup size. So everything is done according to my measurement. And with that, I can make almost thousands of designs, because any design out there you can design, you're going to use this basic sloper. So you're saving in the long run. So it's an investment for now, but you're actually saving because you're reusing that master pattern. You're drafting, let's say my weight goes up and down, and I've got different measurements. I can literally just go back, take my measurements, go take out my master pattern, just redraw my sloper for myself again, and then carry on with my designing. So in the long run, it's a very good investment for you to have that pattern. And there's the pants kit and the shirt kit as well. Pants kit I can make from yoga pants to jeans to casual pants, smart pants, anything like that. Even if you're sewing for men in your life, there's an instructional book for sewing for men if you're going to do the men's pants. And then the shirt kit is unisex, so you can design for women and for men with that one. It's a looser fit. Obviously, there's no bust darts with that, and that's why I also find my dress kit is very popular under the ladies, because of the darts in there and the shaping to actually just follow the contours of your body. I just wanted to mention we've got a YouTube channel for Sherpa Designs as well, with over 200 videos on there already, that Linda in the USA is putting videos on every month. She's adding to it, and it's also going into designing and fitting. And because it's basically for the everyday dressmaker as well, it is so easy to follow. If you want to know, I've got a sloped shoulder, what should I do? The video will be there. We've got even a learning center. If you just go to Sherpa Designs Learning Center and go look at our article and our video library as well, all our YouTube videos are categorized there, so you don't have to go spend hours looking through hundreds of videos. You go look for what your problem is in the learning center and just go to the link that will take you to the correct videos. So it's really a really nice system, a teach yourself at home system. Thousands of people around the world is using it. I'm the South African agent. There's a UK, Australian, and a Canadian agent, and then obviously Linda, which is in America. So it's being used worldwide, and that's why we've got all this information on our DVDs, on our YouTube channel, because not everybody can get to classes. So really you can be in the comfort of your own home and still learn how to design your own patterns.
That YouTube channel sounds like a fantastic resource. I'll definitely share the links when we post this video on the social networks, because I think a lot of people will be interested in looking at it.
Yes, even our beginners dressmakers, it's not designers yet. If they go to their channel and they go search for the folder which is Make It So, that is why beginners dressmakers, it's not about designing, but it is about all the techniques you're going to need for when you are dressmaking. Why do I cut on the grain? How do I insert zips? How do I sew my collar? So even that, she really shares a lot of information with all the dressmakers out there, so that you can have an enjoyable experience when you're designing your own clothes. We get to a point with commercial patterns where you get so frustrated, and a lot of new dressmakers out there, I like to say garment sewers actually, they get frustrated when they start because of the fitting issue of commercial patterns. They don't know how to alter it, how to fit it. So, we want to get them that step further. And an amazing thing that's happening in my business at the moment at bernina, Edenvale, and with the surefit designs, we're getting more and more youngsters that's wanting to sew. They all want to be fashion designers. I think it's this Project Runways and everything that we're seeing nowadays. But we've had a 12-year-old that says, I'm going to be a fashion designer, and her parents came and bought her a little machine. It's amazing to see these youngsters now, what they're doing. So we're also planning at a later stage, when all this COVID-19 is over, to try in school holidays, especially for those little girls that we know that's interested in the fashion side, to maybe do little classes in the holiday for them as well, to get them going on the sewing. But for me, it's the best thing to see those youngsters being interested, because they don't get taught any of that in schools nowadays. So that is why. And as I said, we are really into the dressmaking. I'm not a quilter. My shop isn't about quilting. You come to us at bernina, Edenvale, we are all about dressmaking, design, fashion, all that.
That's awesome, because a lot of the sewing machine shops are focused on quilting. So it's really nice to know that there is one out there that really focuses on fashion and clothing.
Yes. Yeah. And I think because of it, we're getting followers from everywhere. And people throughout South Africa is ordering surefit designs as well, because of the system being available for you on a DVD and on YouTube as well.
Now, I know our fashion and clothing industry has really shrunk over the years. It's been in decline. I mean, in the 70s, there were lots of really big brands making lots of really big money in South Africa in the clothing industry. And it's kind of been on a constant decline for many, many years now. Do you think that this new young excitement that you're seeing means that our clothing industry is possibly in for a revival?
I would hope so. I really, truly hope so. I love reading articles on fashion and what's happening out there. In the US already, there's a big turn to handmade now. People are going, and all of a sudden, people that sewing garments are becoming very busy. There's this whole turn, if you can go Google it, it's called slow fashion.
Yes.
And it's going away from this really high volume commercial stuff that we get from the factories, the low quality and the quantity we're getting, and people are going to this slow fashion now. So remember, there's a difference between handmade and homemade, and that's what I strive for when I teach my students is you want handmade. Homemade looks, there's no other word, it looks homemade. We don't want that. You want to look smart, and it's got to look professional, and that's what I'm trying to teach the people. And there's a whole turn to this handmade, to slow fashion. And the guys out there at the moment, your big retailers, are noticing it. So all of a sudden, you would have noticed they're all starting to advertise sustainable fashion, because they know of this turn going to that slow movement or slow fashion, where people are rather going for quality instead of the quantity now. And all of a sudden, even South Africa, all our big retailers, if you look at their ads, it's all about sustainable fashion. At the end of the day, it's still made in the same factory. It's still quantity and not that great quality, because really go look what's in the stores today. The quality is bad. Even our good retailers today, the quality is so bad because everything is mass produced. Where if you take a step back now, that slower movement that we're starting to see, it's going to change. I believe it's going to change quite a lot.
Yes. And so my personal belief is that we're getting what we pay for when we're paying those low prices, because ultimately the big chains leverage that low price point of basically slave labor, what it amounts to slave labor out there.
But also not just that, people are becoming more aware of waste. And I will actually send it to you. I can't remember. It's the something curate. I can't remember. I'm going to find the article. I shared it on my bernina Edenvale Facebook page, where she actually did this whole look into how much waste these factories actually create.
Yes.
And you cannot believe how much fabric waste there is because of the quantity at the moment that's being produced.
Yes.
And it's actually scary if you start looking at that. And those people that's going to the slow fashion, they don't need as much clothes anymore because they've got quality. So it's not every season I need something new, because for today's clothes, you buy it after 5 washes. It's not looking so great anymore. So
Yes.
I'm someone with that. I'm sewing not because I'm saving money. I'm saving because I want my perfect fit, and I want good quality at the end of the day. So I've got garments that I've had for years. And if you go for that classic style or your everyday wear, you know what? You don't need that quantity at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite thing about working with textiles?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm self-taught. Everything I've done, I'm self-taught. So for me, it's the feel of textiles. I'm someone I'm a very tactile person. I can't go online and decide I'm going to order textiles. I love that walking in and touching everything and feeling it. And I just love the idea that with the textiles, I'm already designing in my head. It makes me feel creative, if I can put it that way. I'm not going to look at it at a technical side, because as I said, I'm not technical trained on to break down that textile for you. But for me, it's a whole of experience of feeling it and already seeing a pattern, because I can see the drape of the fabric, imagining what I'm going to make with it. So even as a normal dressmaker out there that's watching this at the moment, as soon as you start touching and thinking, what am I going to do with that fabric? You know what? You're already in your mind designing a garment for yourself. So I want you to not see yourself as a garment sewer or a dressmaker. See yourself today as a dressmaker, because I think that is where sorry, I'm moving from that subject, but that's where I find a lot of people are undervalued. They see themselves as a dressmaker, and now the guy that can buy something in a shop where he's paying 80, let's say 80 Rand for a Chinese made shirt, is expecting that dressmaker to do that shirt for him for 80 Rand. You know what? You're getting a perfect fit, you're getting quality, you're getting that person's time, the experience. How can you go and want to pay 80 Rand? So I really, sorry, I know I've jumped from the subject, but I really want dressmakers out there, and that's my strive, to not see yourself as that dressmaker that's working from home. Look at your experience and see your worth at the end of the day. And that's the only way you're going to grow yourself, and we're going to grow this industry,
Yes.
if you can see your worth. And you know what? If someone's offering you 100 Rand for that shop, walk away. It's not worth your time and effort. I feel they try your luck with you. I'm being very honest. Because where are they going to get that perfect fit, good quality for 80 Rand in the shop? In a one of a kind. That's a one of a kind item that's being made. So I'm very passionate when it comes to that sort of thing. And I know we started talking about textiles, and I went, right.
No, this is lovely. I love where you're going with this. I love you. You're talking my language here. You're talking my language.
So that is my passion. And I get these customers that come to me and they say, I've got to make something for someone, and do you think 200 Rand is too much? And I'm like, are you serious? Why can that guy that's got a degree behind his name go ask that guy 10,000 Rand, and you want to ask 200 Rand for the same thing? It's your time, your effort, your experience, just because you're working from home. I don't know. That's something that it's a passion of mine, and it really irritates me sometimes when that happens, because they don't see your worth, because you don't have that degree after your name. So sorry, that was just my opinion.
No, absolutely. And so I've had this conversation with a lot of people before, because it seems to be a prevailing trend that I sold clothing at markets for years, where people they come to you and they say, we don't have to pay you a lot for this because you only work 2 days a week. Meanwhile, you're working 7 days a week, behind the scenes in production. You're not just selling, but you're making the things as well. And that conversation with them, where you say, why is your time worth 1,000 Rand an hour, but mine isn't worth 50 Rand an hour to you? And how do you think we can shift that consumer mindset? Because it's all very well and good, the dressmaker saying, I'm going to stand on my value, but at some point they still have to get the work. And that relies on a change in mindset from the consumer. How do you think we can change that mindset?
No, that's a very good question, because it's a very difficult question to answer, because everybody wants, how can I say it? everything for cheap. I see on Facebook groups where people are not even our industry, with plumbers, electricians. Oh, I need a plumber that's not going to ask me an arm and a leg, all that. It's really this consumer mindset, because we're getting everything from China, which is so cheap, and they really expect I can say, such good quality for a price of something that is such poor quality. And I don't know, Melanie, that's a very good question. You know, it's something I think we as entrepreneurs have got to work on to try and get that answer, because I don't think there is at the moment really an answer there, because everybody is wanting everything for nothing. And they want your time, your expertise. Don't ask them to do it for you, because they're going to charge you their fee. But
Yes.
when it's you on the other side with the wallet in their hand, they don't want to pay you. So I don't know how we're going to do that. That's something that I think we need to start looking at, because I don't think any of us have got an answer for that.
I think perhaps it exists because there is a cheaper alternative.
Yes, yes.
So when that cheaper alternative maybe falls away, then they'll begin to consider the value. Because it's something that's frustrated me for like 30 years now.
I must say, that's why I will teach people to design, and I will teach people how to do dressmaking. I've got people coming and ask me, won't you make something for me? And I'll say, you know what, you come to me, I'm going to teach how to do it. I'm not going to make it for you.
Yes,
because it is a difficult situation. And I really think it's bad, because we've got people out there that are such good dressmakers, that's got years of experience. They make the most beautiful wedding dresses, matric dresses, but because they just don't have that degree saying I've gone to a fashion design school, and they haven't made a name out there, people aren't willing to pay for it. But let the next guy out there that was lucky, and I really think if you're making a name out there today, you are lucky, because there is so much competition out there, and because of our economic situation. So, but because he's made his name, or was lucky to be somewhere where he got noticed, he or she, and they've got the degree, people put more value on that. And I think that's where the mind shift has got to be. I've also got value, even though I don't have my degree. That lady next door that's making matric dresses, she's making beautiful dresses. She's got all the years of, how can I say, she's got years and years of experience. She can design. Why is there no worth for that person? And it's really a good question that you ask, because I don't know how we're going to get past it. It's the consumer mindset at the moment. It's that instant gratification. You know, and I think maybe eventually it will change, because if I'm talking about instant gratification, they take that shirt off the rail in the shop, and when they go to that person, they think, well, it took me 1 second to take it off, it's going to take you half an hour, it's not a lot of work. That's what I hear. People are saying, oh, it's not so much work, it's 5 minutes. They don't know the value, so they need to be educated to see actually what is happening behind the scene of something like that. I shared a post on my bernina Facebook now, and people should go and have a look. The Chanel jacket, 130 hours to make that Chanel jacket, because they work by hand. They do a lot of hand work on their jacket. It's interesting to go see. They count down the hours, that whole thing from the beginning to the end. I'm going to ask people to go look at the video and see how much work goes into one little jacket, and then tell me what you think it's worth.
Oh, it was amazing talking to you. And I see we are moving close to the end of our time. So do you have any comments in closing for the people who are watching?
Well, I'm just going to encourage everyone out there that's interested in dressmaking to just go out there, look at what's available, go look at our surefit designs. If you're in the area, we're in Edenvale, pop in at bernina Edenvale. We've actually got a very open door policy at our shop. We've got customers coming in, having coffee and all that. Come see what we do and chat to us, because once you start designing a garment that fits, you will never go back to your ready-to-wear clothing, because that's what it's all about, is getting the garment that fits your body. Don't go buy something and now you've got to run to someone to alter it for you. Get it right from the start, and you will never look back again.
That's awesome advice. And where will we find you on the social networks? You've got Facebook pages. Are you on Instagram?
I've started an Instagram now, bernina Edenvale. I've got bernina Edenvale Facebook and Surefit Designs South Africa Facebook page. And in the lockdown, I started with a YouTube channel. It's called So Stylish with Elsabe Hurn, where I'm sharing my tips and techniques with my customers while we were in lockdown. So we're just carrying on. We actually did a lovely video this morning again on a technical side on needles and machines with our technical department. So go have a look at all those videos. It will give you a lot of tips and techniques.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to share all these links when I publish this video. Thank you so much for your time to talk to me today. It was lovely meeting you, Elsabe.
Thank you so much, Melanie. Thanks.